And good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere. This is Kurt Berglund coming to you from stately Berglund Manor with Game 3 of the second Gem series that I am doing. These are best of 3 series using Strat Matic Super Advanced. And the opponents in this Game 3 of the series, best of 3, Game 3, so that pretty much tells you that the teams are tied 1 game apiece at this point, are the 1973 Mets at the 1974 Dodgers, and the Dodgers took Game 1 at Chavez Ravine by a score of 4-0, Don Sutton throwing a 4-hit shutout, beating Tom Seaver. But in Game 2, the 1973 Mets came back a couple times, and behind John Matlack and a good bullpen, defeated Andy Messersmith and Mike Marshall and company by a score of 7-4. This game is for all the marbles in this series, the best of 3. Jerry Koosman takes the mound for the Mets. He's a left-hander, was a left-hander, still is a left-hander. And for the 1974 Dodgers, it'll be Al Downing. Chosen simply because he started Game 3 of the 1974 World Series. Of course, they did not have Tommy John, who was already out with Tommy John surgery, which is very fitting because once they invented Tommy John surgery, they needed to find someone named Tommy John to have it done. So that's how that worked. It was a pretty amazing story. You should read about it. All right, the lineups for today go like this. For the visiting 1973 Mets, Wayne Garrett leads off at third base. Felix Mian batting second at second base. Rusty Staub batting third in right field. Cleon Jones batting fourth in left field. John Milner batting fifth, playing first base. Jerry Grody batting sixth and catching. Don Hahn batting seventh and playing center field. And Bud Harrelson batting eighth and playing shortstop. The pitcher is the Coos, Jerry Koosman, left-hander, who on the 1973 season went 14-15 with a 2.84 ERA. For the homestanding Los Angeles Dodgers of 1974, leading off is their second baseman, Davey Lopes. Batting second, my favorite player of all time, Bill Buckner, left field. Batting third, Jim Wynn in center field. Batting fourth, Steve Garvey at first base. Batting fifth against the left-hander Koosman is Joe Ferguson, and he's playing right field. Batting sixth is third baseman Ron Say. Batting seventh is shortstop Bill Russell. Batting eighth is catcher Steve Yeager. And batting ninth is the veteran, also a lefty, Al Downing. So this is it. This is for all the marbles, or all the dice, if you prefer. And Wayne Garrett standing in against Al Downing. The pitch to Garrett is a swinging strike 3. Downing gets him for out number 1. We should talk about the weather. Good weather tonight. Singles on 12 and 9, and home runs on 12 and 12. So Chavez Ravine playing a little bit smaller than Shea Stadium did yesterday. The pitch to Mian is hit hard, hit high, hit deep, off Downing, and gone. Felix Mian gives the 73 Mets a 1-0 lead in the first inning. The pitch to Staub is a ground ball to Russell. Russell fields and throws and gets his man at first. That's 2 down. Cleon Jones stands in. An unlikely power source. Felix Mian hit 3 home runs in 638 at-bats in the 1973 season. And Cleon Jones drives a single up the middle, and he's on with 2 outs. John Milner coming to the plate against the left-hander Downing. And he swings and misses on strike 3. but the Mets will take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the first as Jerry Koosman takes the mound for New York and Davey Lopes stands in. That's a line drive base hit for Lopes, and the Dodgers are looking to run. Lopes is working on his lead. Bill Buckner is standing in against Koosman. The pitch is a fly ball to right. That's going to be Rusty Staub for the first out. 1 down. Jimmy Wynn draws ball 4, and there's 2 on now for Steve Garvey, the hero of Game 1 with 3 RBIs. Garvey's got a chance to at least tie the game right here. And Garvey takes a called third strike. Mr. Clean goes down for the second out of the inning. Joe Ferguson stands in. 2 outs, 2 on. And he hits a ground ball to Mian, who's going to throw to first. And the Mets escape that jam with no damage. We go to the top of the second, and it's Mets 1, Dodgers nothing. Grody hits a fly ball to center field. That's going to be Wynn. Comes in a few steps and makes the play. 1 down. Don Hahn, the center fielder, smashes one to first. That's tricky for Garvey, but he makes the play unassisted for out number 2. And shortstop Bud Harrelson stands in against Al Downing. And Bud hits a base hit. Continues his hot hitting. And if the Mets do nothing else, they've turned the lineup over in the second inning. Jerry Koosman draws a walk. There's 2 on, 2 out for Wayne Garrett facing the left-hander Downing. And Al Downing strikes out Garrett swinging. Downing gets out of the second. It's 1-0 Mets as we go to the bottom of the second. Ron Say stands in against Koosman. Ground ball third, that's Garrett. Takes it on a hop and throws out the Penguin by 4 steps. Bill Russell singles up the middle. That's a base hit for the Dodgers shortstop, and he will be held on base as Steve Yeager comes to the plate. We have a pass ball chance. And Grody blocks it. Yeager swings at the next pitch and loops a base hit. That's a base hit to center. Hahn comes in and fields it. Russell stops at second, and the Dodgers have something going in the second inning. Downing stands in. Will he get the bunt sign? Russell's on second. Yeager's on first. There's 1 man out. They're letting Downing swing away. And that is caught by Mian, retreating into right field. He makes the play, and there's 2 outs for Lopes. Dodgers now in both the first and second innings have had 2 men on. And less than 2 outs. Can Lopes deliver? Ground ball third, he didn't. Garrett to Milner, and the side's retired in the second. We go to the top of the third, and it's Mets 1, Dodgers nothing. Felix Mian, the hero of the first inning, with a home run to left field. He draws a walk. Mian's on first base, and Staub comes to the plate. Probably the best hitter on the team. That's a chance for Yeager. And Steve Yeager takes the pop out for out number 1. Out number 1. There's 1 out, 1 on for Cleon Jones. Downing, the pitch. Ground ball first. That's Garvey. Not a good thrower anyway. And Mian gets to second as Garvey takes the play unassisted. Mian's on second with 2 outs for John Milner, the hammer. And he hits a smash at Garvey. That's off his glove. They're going to score it a hit, but it stays in the infield, and it's first and third with 2 outs for Jerry Grody. Another chance for the Dodgers. Downing in jams left and right. The pitch to Jerry is a fly ball to center. That's going to be Jim Wynn. And the toy cannon lets it settle into his glove for the 3rd out in the inning. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and the Dodgers are trailing 1-0. It's tense here at Chavez Ravine. Tense. Larry King needs another frozen yogurt, and he sends his 14-year-old wife. Oh, no, wait, that's Jerry Lee Lewis. Never mind. Larry King sends his 40-year-old wife to get him another frozen yogurt. Jerry Lee Lewis, I don't know. You're on your own with that one. Bill Buckner. Bill Buckner is in against Kuzman. He slaps a line drive to center. That's going to get past Hahn and roll all the way to the wall. Billy Buck is on second with a double. And the Dodgers have another scoring opportunity off Kuzman. Here comes Jim Wynn. He takes a called 3rd strike. The changeup fools Wynn. And now Garvey stands in with a chance to tie the game or do more. And Garvey just hit one to the gap. It's in left center. It's going to split Jones and Hahn. Buckner is going to score easily, and Garvey will take second with a double. His 4th RBI in the series. His 5th RBI in the series. Garvey represents the go-ahead run now for Joe Ferguson. Standing in against Kuzman. Ground ball short. That's Harrelson. He throws and gets his man Ferguson. And that's 2 down. 2 down. Garvey on second. Say at the plate. Also with a chance to help the Dodgers take the lead. And that's a ground ball to short. Harrelson to Milner, and the side is retired. We go to the top of the 4th. We got a tight one. We got a classic going. 73 Mets won, 74 Dodgers won. Don Hahn standing in against the veteran Al Downing. And Hahn lifts a fly ball to center. That's going to drive Wynn to the track. But he's going to make the catch, and that's out number 1. Bud Harrelson stands in with 1 out, nobody on. And Buddy slaps one down the right field line. This one's going to chase Ferguson into the corner. Harrelson's going to get to second. Is he going to try for third? No, they hold him up, and he'll settle for a double. Jerry Kuzman at bat. Not a strong hitter, but he is a strong bunter. Are they going to put the bunt on? Let's see what Yogi Berra has in mind. The pitch to Kuz, and the bunt is on. The bunt is on. It's back to Downing, and Downing throws out Kuzman at first. Harrelson gets to third, and now the lead run is 90 feet away for the Mets. Wayne Garrett stands in. Can he drive in Harrelson? Al Downing gets Garrett on a curveball for the 3rd time. That's Garrett's 3rd strikeout. He's got the hat trick in just 4 innings. That's not easy to do, sports fans. We go to the bottom of the 4th with the Mets and the Dodgers tied at 1. Bill Russell standing in against Kuzman. And Russell with another hit. This is a base hit up the middle for the Dodgers shortstop, Yeager. Both starting pitchers have been in trouble pretty much since the start of the game. Yeager strikes out swinging. That's 1 down. Downing stands in. Is he going to get the bunt sign from Walter Alston? Will anybody wake Walter Alston up? Is Walter Alston still alive? These and many more questions will be answered in the rest of this game. The pitch to Downing. Downing's got a chance to beat it out. It's hit to Garrett. Garrett throws, and they get him on the sacrifice. Downing laid it down, and it was a good one. But he could not beat the throw to first. So we are looking for a Lope single to maybe score Russell with 2 outs. The pitch to Davey. He draws a walk. He's on for the second time. Dodgers have men on first and second again with Buckner up. Buckner scored the only run in the last inning in the third after a leadoff double. The pitch to Billy Buck is a ground ball to Mian. Felix throws to Milner, and that retires the side, and the Dodgers again come up empty in the fourth. We go to the top of the fifth, and we're tied at 1. The Dodgers have left 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 runners on base in 4 innings. That's not going to make Walter Alston happy, even if he was awake to see it. The Mets, on the other hand, not much better. They've left 2, 4, 6 runners on base in 4 innings. One of these teams is going to have to get a hit in the clutch, or we're going to be here a long time. Felix Mian stands in. He scored the only run for the Mets on a homer in the first. Downing's pitch is a fly ball to right. That's Joe Ferguson. That's Joe Ferguson. That's Joe Ferguson. It's going to fall in for a hit. It's going to fall in for a hit, and that's a single for Mian. Mian's been on 3 times now. Rusty Staub stands in. That's going to get action going in the Dodger bullpen. That's going to get action going in the Dodger bullpen. It's Charlie Huff and Jeff Zahn throwing in the Dodger pen. Rusty Staub stands in. He's 0 for 2. The pitch to Rusty is a swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down with 1 on. Cleon Jones at bat. The pitch to Cleon is a line shot, base hit up the middle. It falls in front of Wynn. Mian is going to take third, and there'll be no throw. It's cut off to keep Jones at first. The Mets have runners at first and third. That's Mian on third and Jones on first with 1 out. The Dodger infield plays in at the corners. They'd love a double play ball from John Milner. Alston is now awake and watching the game. And they're going to let Downing pitch to Milner. The infield is in at the corners. The pitch. Hey, got Milner looking. That's 2 down. And Grody coming to the plate. First and third for the Mets. 2 outs. Grody in the clutch. The pitch. Fly ball to center, and that's going to drive Wynn back a few steps. But for the 3rd time today, Grody is going to fly out to the Dodger center fielder. And that retires the side in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Mets squander another opportunity. And Jim Wynn takes to the batter's box to face Kuzman. It's Wynn, Garvey, Ferguson, the meat of the Dodger order. Ground ball second. That's Mian. It's a bad hop. It's a bad hop. Mian cannot make the play. It's a base hit. An infield single for Jim Wynn. Jimmy's got some wheels. They are going to hold him on. Garvey stands in. 1 for 2 with a double today. Fly ball center. That's Don Hahn. Don Hahn makes the catch. And Wynn retreats to first. That's one out in the Dodger fifth. Joe Ferguson with good power. 0 for 2 today. They called third strike on a changeup to Ferguson. 2 outs, and Ronnie Say is standing in. Ground ball short. That's Harrelson. And Bud throws to Milner. That retires the side. We go to the sixth. Another runner left on base for the Dodgers. There's runners all over the field, left on base by both teams. We are tied at 1. Downing is... He's on for the sixth. We'll see what happens here. They want to get him through the sixth inning if they can. He's due up third in the inning, at the bottom of the inning. Pitch to Hahn is ball 4, a walk. That's going to get the Dodger bullpen active yet again. This time it's Jim Brewer and Jim Brewer are throwing in the Dodger pen. The pitch to Harrelson. Ground ball second. That's Lopes. Lopes, one of the several converted outfielders playing in the infield for the Dodgers. He does not make an error. He flips it to Russell, and Russell makes the play to Garvey. Harrelson's hit into an unbelievably untimely double play here in the sixth. With 2 outs, that'll bring Koosman to the plate. If there were thoughts of hitting for him, those are gone. It's a ground ball to Lopes, and you never know when it's going to happen, but the Lopes-Russell-Garvey double play combination worked for the Dodgers. Walter Alston still awake and clapping in the Dodger dugout. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's Russell, Yeager, and Downing. Line drive, base hit, Russell. Russell is 3 for 3, and here comes Yeager. He's 1 for 2. Everybody's 1 for 2 or better in the Dodger lineup because Koosman is getting himself into trouble but also working his way out of it. We're in the bottom of the sixth. There's nobody out. Yeager hits a ground ball to short. Harrelson, Mian, Milner, a double play. Wow, the Mets liked that so much. What the Dodgers did in the top of the inning, they decided to do a double play themselves. So with 2 outs and nobody on, there's Downing. They're going to let him bat. Well, yeah, they're going to let him bat. Ground ball Mian. And Felix makes the play to first. And that retires the Dodgers in the sixth. We got a 3-inning game. We're tied at 1 after 6 innings. Wayne Garrett will lead off for the Mets against Al Downing. Mike Marshall is ready in the Dodger bullpen. He is ready to go in the Dodger pen. And Wayne Garrett leads off. He has struck out 3 times today. He's got the hat trick. He's going for the golden sombrero. And he got it. A swing and a miss. That's his 4th strikeout on the day. Wayne Garrett, if the Mets lose this game, is going to be wearing a very large pair of goat horns. The Mets trainer is measuring him for the horns even as we speak. Felix Mian is 2 for 2, though. And he hits a ground ball to second. That's Lopes. Davey throws to Garvey, and that's 2 down. And Staub is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. With 2 outs, he comes to bat. And Rusty pops it up. That is Bill Russell, and Bill Russell waves everybody off to make the play. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Larry King is leading the fans in Take Me Out to the Ball Game, except he needs his 35-year-old wife to put his choppers in before he begins to do the singing. So otherwise it comes out it comes out all it comes out all gummy. Okay. All right, back to the game. All right, here we go. Lopes against Kuzman. That's a play for Grody. That's a play for Jerry Grody. Jerry Grody makes the play on the pop out, and that's one down. Johnny Bench once said of Jerry Grody that if Grody and he were on the same team, Grody's the one who would be the catcher. That's what Johnny Bench thought of Jerry Grody's catching. We go to Bill Buckner up in the bottom of the seventh. Bottom of the seventh, Buckner up with one out. We got a tie game. Ground ball second. That's Meehan. He gloves it and throws to Milner for the out. Two down, and Jimmy Wynn. Jimmy Wynn hits a fly ball to right. That's Staub moving back toward the wall, and he's on the track, but he makes the play. That retires the side in the seventh. We are going to the eighth, and the 73 Mets and the 74 Dodgers are tied at 1 apiece. Al Downing is still on. Cleon Jones is up. The pitch to Cleon is hit deep. This is way back, and it's gone. Cleon Jones with a home run. He's now 3 for 4. The Mets have opened up the power on the Dodgers. That's it for Downing. And Mike Marshall is on to try and hold things where they are. Mike Marshall will take Downing's place, hitting ninth in the order. John Milner is 1 for 3. He's come standing in against Marshall. Ground ball second. That's Lopes. Davy Lopes makes the play, and that's one down for the Mets. Tug McGraw now loosening in the Mets bullpen. Jerry Grody, 0 for 3. Ground ball first base, Garvey unassisted. 2 down, and Don Hahn, 0 for 2 with a walk. Line drive, base hit, past Marshall's head, right up the middle, and Hahn is on. And Bud Harrelson comes to the plate. He's 2 for 3 with a double. The pitch to Bud, and he strikes out swinging on a Marshall screwball. But the Mets score a big one as Cleon Jones clubs one into the Mets bullpen. And the Mets now lead the 74 Dodgers by a score of 2-1. Kuzman is still on. Garvey coming to the plate. This is where we separate the men from the boys. Garvey standing in against Kuzman. Tug McGraw throwing in the bullpen. The pitch to Garvey is a ground ball to short. That's Harrelson. He throws and they get Popeye by several steps. 1 down. Joe Ferguson. He's got a lot of power. But he's 0 for 3. They're going to pitch to him. The pitch to Joe is a fly ball to right. Staub in his tracks. 2 down. And Ron Say with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. 0 for 3 for the Penguin. Ground ball second. That's Meehan. He gloves it. And Kuzman's retired 8 in a row. 9 in a row if you count the double play. So we go to the 9th. Marshall coming back out on the mound. It's the 73 Mets 2, the 74 Dodgers nothing. Kuzman is due, and they're going to let him bat to lead off the inning. They're going to let the Kuz bat, and he strikes out against Marshall. That's 1 down. Wayne Garrett. I don't know what 5 strikeouts in a game is called, but he's going for it right now. Garrett stands in against Marshall. He's got 4 Ks going. He pops it up. Wow. And that's going to be Yeager taking it on the foul out. 2 down. Felix Mian. So Garrett didn't even hit one in fair territory this game. Mian, 2 for 3 with a homer in the first. The pitch to Felix is a ground ball to second. That's Lopes. Almost misplays it, but makes the play to Garvey, and that retires the side in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Kuzman, but McGraw is ready to go. Kuzman will face Russell, Yeager, and the pitcher spot, Marshall. Russell leads off. He's 3 for 3. And Bill Russell lines a base hit right up the middle. He's 4 for 4. Bill Russell, of all people, is 4 for 4. Larry King needs new dentures. They just fell out. Someone wake up Walter Alston. The 9th inning might be worth watching. Steve Yeager stands in. Yogi's coming out to get Kuzman. It's going to be Tug McGraw. Win, lose, or draw. Tug McGraw is on to try and close this thing in Gem Series 2, which is turning out to be just as good as Gem Series 1 between the Cubs and the White Sox. Yeager's 1 for 3. Are they going to have him bunt? The Dodger infield's going to play in at the corners. Let's see what the options are here. Yeager is an average bunter. An average bunter. There's not a plethora of good bunting options on this Dodger team. Wow, there just isn't. So Yeager's going to be asked to bunt. Walter Alston's going to give him... the corner's moved in, so that makes Yeager a D. No, they're going to take off the bunt and have Yeager swing away. Russell's on first. Yeager swings and strikes out on McGraw Heat. He strikes out on a McGraw heater. That is 1 down. Manny Mota, pinch hitter extraordinaire, is going to be called on now to pinch hit for Marshall. On the 1974 season, Manny Mota, in 57 plate appearances, hit .281. He had a slugging percentage of .316 and an on-base percentage of .328. Manny... You couldn't get a fastball past Manny, and that's why he's up there. Tug's got to look at what he wants to throw him. The pitch to Manny against against McGraw. It's looped. It's over Garrett's head into left field for a base hit. Cleon Jones collects it quickly and gets it back in. The Dodgers have men on first and second with 1 man out in the bottom of the 9th. They need 1 to tie. They need 2 to walk this thing off. Manny Mota is on first base. He was 114 in 1974, and so the Dodgers are looking for a pinch runner. And they're going to go with Rick Auerbach to pinch run for Manny Mota. Auerbach carries the series-winning run should he score. Mota comes off the field to an ovation from the Dodger fans. Larry King is now doing the wave behind home plate. Unfortunately, nobody else is. So Larry looks a little ridiculous. All right. Davy Lopes is up 1 for 3 with a walk. Tug McGraw to the belt. He checks the runners. That's Russell on second. Auerbach on first. The pitch home is a wild pitch chance. It's a wild pitch. McGraw throws it past Grody, and that's not easy to do. Lope stands in against McGraw. Ball one. And the Dodger infield is now playing in. The outfield is at normal depth. The Dodger infield is in at all positions. Davy Lopes. Auerbach's now on second. Russell's on third. There's good speed on the bases. Lopes is up. There's no action in the Met bullpen. Yogi's going with Tug. Tug's going to go from the windup with Smen on second and third, as you would do if you were in the 70s. Lopes standing in against McGraw. The count is 1-0. The pitch to Lopes is a play for Grody. And okay. So it's going to be a pop-out to Grody in foul territory. A pop-out to Grody, and with 2 outs, we're down to 1 batter to decide the whole series. Runners on second and third. That's Russell on third, Auerbach's on second. There's 2 men out. Tug McGraw's on the mound, and Bill Buckner is at the plate. And Buckner is not good in the clutch. And we are playing super advanced, and so that matters. The Dodgers have some hitters possible, but the concept of hitting Tom Patork for Bill Buckner is so bizarre to me, I can't possibly do it. So we're going to have Buckner try and do it. McGraw is now going from the windup against Buckner. The winning run in the series is on second base. The tying run is on third base. The pitch from McGraw to Buckner is a fly ball to center field. Hans coming in, and he's got it. For out number 3, the Mets win the series. They win the series by a score of 2-1 in Game 3. They go to Chavez Ravine, and they pull off what I'm going to call is the upset. Let's look at the totals. For the victorious 1973 Mets, 2 runs on 4, 6, 8, 9 hits, and they made no errors in this game. For the Dodgers, 1 run on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hits, and they made no errors in this game. The winning pitcher is Jerry Koosman. The losing pitcher is Al Downing. And the save goes to Tug McGraw. His second of the series. And the MVP of the series, I'm going to say, wow, I don't know. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go against form and go with Steve Garvey on the losing team. Steve Garvey had 5 RBIs. He drove in really every big run that the Dodgers had and was essential to their only victory in the series. So we'll call Steve Garvey the MVP of the series, even though the Mets won. They did it in 1982 when Fred Lynn was called the MVP of the American League Championship Series against my Brewers. And was I happy about that? No, I wasn't. But that's for another day and another session on the couch. So, Gem Series 2 ends with the Mets winning, 73 Mets beating the 74 Dodgers by a score of 2-1. They win the series 2-1. If you enjoyed, please click like and subscribe to my channel. And look soon for Gem Series 3. I've got some more good ones in the hopper for you, all of them best of 3, and we'll be starting that one tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. So long, everybody.